AEW presented a loaded episode of Dynamite this week and featured 3 debuts, 2 of them being major names in the world of wrestling. We also had an incredible tag team match with CM Punk teaming up with a former WWE and AEW champion, and of course the main event, Hangman Page putting the title on the line against Lance Archer in a death match. And if that's not enough to get you excited, I don't know what is. And it kicks off with the star of last week, MJF, who came down to the ring on a throne. The Pinnacle leader then celebrated in the ring together, although Wardlow wasn't as enthusiastic as the others. MJF took the mic and said that he beat CM Punk twice in Chicago, so he was better than the best in the world. MJF said that this moment felt so bittersweet after beating his childhood hero. Punk then thanked Shawn Spears for helping him beat CM Punk, and once again Wardlow didn't look impressed. MJF then added that he was setting his sights on becoming the champ. CM Punk then came out with Darby Allin and Sting, who came out with baseball bats. Punk then said he wanted a rematch against Wardlow, and then told Mr. Mayhem to leave the rest of the Pinnacle. MJF said that if CM Punk could find a tag team partner and beat FTR, he would give him the rematch. However, MJF's stipulation was that it couldn't be Sting or Darby, and he had to find someone else. Fun little promo to kick off the show. We've seen it so many times now, but still never gets boring with these two. Good stuff. Andrade was then backstage with Sting and Allen. Darby said he didn't want to work for Andrade and had his sights set on the TNT champion. Andrade declared that he would be the next TNT champion, which I would love to see, before we got Wardlow versus Blade. Blade blindsided Wardlow from behind, going after his knee. Wardlow was favouring his knee, but Blade hit with multiple Blade-based suplexes. The action spilled to the outside, where Wardlow sent Blade back into the ring post. Wardlow sent his opponent crashing into the ring post once more. Back in the ring, Wardlow was still having trouble with his knee. The Blade hit back with a knee to the jaw, but this just instead Wardlow. He then hit the Blade with a powerbomb as the fans chanted for a second and Wardlow arrived. The powerbomb simply continued, and in the end it was a simple win for Wardlow. I'll give it 6 out of 10. Solid win for Wardlow. Just slowly building up. Let's see where it progresses in the next weeks. The Inner Circle then came down to the ring without Santana Ortiz. Jericho said that he hadn't seen them all day. Jericho demanded to know why they weren't tagging him in a few weeks back, and then they came out. Santana replied that he felt that Jericho only cared about himself, adding that they had been focused on other things than the champion. He added that whenever he and Ortiz had a chance to advance themselves and go for gold, they were forced to pivot and come to help Jericho. Santana added that they didn't have a better spotlight because of Jericho, but it was the fans who kept them going. He added that if it wasn't for Ortiz, he would have dropped Jericho a long time ago. Jericho asked Santana what Eddie Kingston has ever done to him. Jericho said that unlike Kingston, he was the influencer in AEW, and said that he had brought them in. They had more money than ever. Jericho added that Santana and Ortiz had their shots at tag team goals, but they came out short. He added that he had brought Santana and Ortiz into the Inner Circle and he kicked them out as well. Santana and Jericho came to play, but they were pulled apart by Guevara. So he said that he didn't know what was going on, but the Inner Circle was a family. He said that until Jericho and Santana could figure out their issues, he was quitting the Inner Circle. Ortiz then challenged Jericho and Hager to a tag team match next week. Jericho replied that after he and Hager sat them around, they would have a shift in attitude. It's not really my favourite stuff in AEW, but at least it's a story, it's fine. We'll just see where it goes. Vice were backstage with Tony Schiavone. The Young Bucks were interrupted the interview and a duo attacked by Adam Cole. The Bunks and Coles took out Trent and Rocky Romero. We then saw Jay White make his first AEW appearance and take him out. He stepped up to Trent and took him out too. Did not see this coming, but Jay White and AEW adding to that storyline. Really can't wait to see where that goes. Before it was Isaiah Cassidy versus a mystery man, and it was Keith Lee. Predicted it correctly. Lee powered Cassidy into the corner and tossed him around the ring. Isaiah replied with a couple of strikes, but the big man took him down. Isaiah Cassidy then replied with a dropkick, but it didn't have much effect. Lee then hit Cassidy with a shoulder tackle. Mark Ken did what he could do to distract Lee, but he went out to ringside and Cassidy capitalised with a dive over the top rope. Back in the ring, Keith Lee hit Isaiah Cassidy with a big bang catastrophe to pick up the win. Quen then attacked Lee after the match, sending him rolling out of the ring. He caught Mark Quen mid-air and powerbombed into Isaiah Cassidy before powerbombing Mark into the apron. This was really good stuff. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Solid debut for Keith Lee. Really great seeing him in AEW. Can't wait to see what his run's like, and this was a great start. Next up was CM Punk and versus FTR, and it was John Moxley Moxley. Yeah, this was really great. CM Punk and Dax Harwood started things off for their teams. Harwood and Punk went back and forth, going hold for hold. Wheeler then tagged in and seemed to be going after Punk's arm before he fought back, forcing Wheeler to tag out, and John Moxley came in too. Harwood took Moxley down with a shoulder tackle. The former world champ replied with a body slam, followed by a couple of PKs. Punk then tried back and hit Harwood in the knee after a straight edge superstar's knee. Wheeler then tagged in and continued the assault. Punk was favouring his leg and tagged out. Mox took on both members of FTR, dishing out German suplexes. He followed out with a double DDT to both Harwood and Wheeler. Punk then came in at this point and took out Wheeler. Moxley followed out with a top rope Cedar out to ringside. All four men brawled outside. We then saw Mox toss Wheeler into the crowd and raked his eyes. He sat Wheeler down and hit repeated knife edge shots. FTR soon got their revenge, crashing Moxley into the announcer's desk. FTR were in control in this stage and had Moxley isolated. Moxley finally managed to tag out soon after though. We got a double team from Moxley and Punk, but it wasn't enough to win the match. Wheeler then hit Moxley with a tornado DDT before hitting Punk in the head with a ring bowl, but still managed to kick out. Punk then hit Harwood with a GTS before FTR countered it with a big rig. Mox broke up the count. Mox and CM Punk then locked in the rear naked choke and the Anaconda Vice at the same time. With the referee's back turns, Tully Blanchard broke up the hold. Punk hit him with a GTS and then hit their finishers simultaneously to pick up the win. Yeah, this was really, really great from start to finish. It definitely gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Yeah, top stuff. More Punk and Moxley together, please. And FTR, yeah, just show what they can do. Next up was Jade Cargill versus AQA for the TBS title on TBS. AQA made her debut, answering the challenge immediately, but Jade immediately took her down. She got back on her feet quickly though, but Cargill lifted her in the air. Jade was then forced to roll out to ringside. AQA tried to follow up with a baseball slide, but the champ took her down with a forearm and tossed her into the barricade. Jade then took AQA down with a fall-away slam. She then hit back with tornado DDT and headed to the top rope and hit a shooting star press. Jade kicked out too, but Mark Sterling looked worried at ringside. AQA then went for a second shooting star press, but Jade went back on her feet. AQA went for a crossbody, but Jade caught her mid-air. The champ followed her with Jada to pick up the win. This was really great. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. More Jade Cargill on my TV is what I've got to say. Really, she's just so good. And AQA, sign her up because, yeah, like once again, she really showed what she could do here, and she definitely deserves a full-time contract based off that display. Next up was Serenity versus Katie Arquette. Dee was out of the mic. She said that no one in the back wanted to go toe-to-toe with her, and she was issuing a Professor's 5-minute rookie challenge, and it was Katie Arquette. I wonder any relation to David. Arquette went for a wrist lock, but Dee reversed it, and then locked in a Serenity lock to pick up the win in about 1 minute. It's a major waste of time, this. I wasn't a massive fan, but yeah, kind of just got the crowd settled down ahead of the main event. I mean, if that was its purpose, it was alright. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. On a worse Dynamite, I probably would have given it like a 5 out of 10. But, you know, I'm in a good mood after that Dynamite, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10. But trying to get onto the proper business, Hangman Page versus Lance Archer. As Lance Archer's music hit, we saw him and the champion brawl in the back. They brawled their way out to the entrance ramp, and Page clocked Archer with a time belt before sending him crashing through a part of the stage. Archer was busted open, and Page hit Archer with a buckshot lariat, but Archer rolled out of the ring because of the momentum. Archer then took a trash can lid out from under the ring and hit Page with it as he went for a top rope suicide. Archer continued to assault him as Dan Lambert came down and unscrewed one of the turnbuckles. They then brawled into the crowd, and Page hit Archer with moonsaults. Both of them brawled their way back into the ring. Archer then hit the helicoaster in the middle of the ring and used the turnbuckle hook to attack Page. Archer then set up 2 tables at ringside before taking a number of Kendo sticks from under the ring. Hangman was also busted open at one point. Jake Roberts took Hangman down at ringside from his famous shot arm clothesline. Jake went for the DDT, but Lance stopped him. Hangman Page then repeatedly hit Archer with Kendo stick shots around the back and with a trash can. Archer then used a fork to reportedly strike Hangman in the head. Archer then took out a barbed wire from under the ring, and the Murder Hawk Monster turned the steel steps on its side. Back in the ring, Hangman wrapped the barbed wire from the chair and his arms around with repeated clothesline. Hangman followed up with a buckshot that sent both men crashing through the table at the ringside. That was enough to keep Archer down for the win. Yeah, I need to catch my breath after reading all that. Just a chaotic match. I've taken enough death matches. Yeah, 8 out of 10. This was so good. Overall this week, AEW Dynamite gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Yeah, this was a really, really great show. just from start to finish. Maybe there was a bit too many promos at the start, but it soon got into its feet, and the second half was just outstanding television, aside from that Serenity stuff. Was a bit weird, but yeah, the rest of it was just brilliant, and a classic episode of Dynamite. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comments down below, follow us to description for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to our channel on screen, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.